Hey, what up, Black Twitter fans? Today we got some tea, some clapback, some Twitter beef. We got it all for you coming up right now.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
Hey, we coming at you today.
Look at these two ladies turning up to my left and my right. I got the seat in the house.
That's right. Hey.
Get out the way, get out the way, get out the way,
Hey, we coming through. We are coming through. It's Black Twitter. It's lit as usual.
Pretty much.
Every day. All right. Hey, what up, guys? I'm your host, Alina Vision. I am joined by my wonderful two co-hosts. Take it away.
Everybody, your boy LG. You can find me at Jamaica House Doc on Twitter, and just happy to be here with these two lovely ladies.
Oh, thank you. And my girl, Raylyn.
Hey guys, it's your girl Raylyn T. You can find me everywhere at Raylyn Taryn. What's up?
That's right. Y'all ready to get into this?
Yes.
Let's do it.
Because this week was on fire.
Oh my God. My cup has runneth over. Okay?
Right. All right. Let's start off with the tea for this week. Right off the bat, Kanye West. He had a weekend, shall we say. A weekend. Okay, so here's the tea. He was on SNL this weekend. He was a musical guest. He came out first in Perrier, performing
In the Perrier bottle.
right?
Yeah.
Performing a Little Pump. Cool. But then he had a third song at the end of SNL. And this is when he went on a Twitter rant wearing a MAGA hat. Or not a Twitter rant. He went on a rant wearing a MAGA hat.
And he does go on a Twitter rant later,
He does.
too.
We're going to get to that. But actually, Chris Rock was in the crowd and caught it all on Instagram Live. So we're going to roll that tape right now. Wait, what? Can you guys hear that?
Yeah, I can't. I can hear it, but I can't.
Oh, wait. Oh, okay.
Okay. Well, you know.
Can I say the whole Kanye drama started last week, though, when he tried to get at Drake and Nick Cannon, and who else is one other person he tried to address on his
Tyson
IG?
Beckford.
On Tyson
Exactly.
Beckford.
He was on a rant last week,
Yeah.
and he
Yeah.
even went on his, I think it was his Instagram live, or
Walking under the train.
waiting for the train,
Yeah.
right? Saying he's not in the sunken place
See,
anymore.
first of all,
Yeah.
you can't be the one to say you're not in the sunken place.
Yeah,
Right.
no.
We let you know when you're out the sunken place.
Definitely.
All right, I think we're good, ready for that clip. Let's roll it.
There's so many times I talk to like a white person about this and they say, how could you like Trump? He's racist. Well, if I was concerned about racism, I would have moved out of America a long time ago. We don't just make that as and that inspires me.
People booing.
The church organ is killing me, though.
And when I said I'm running 2020,
Adam Driver in the back's like, what is going on?
Now you got a situation where we need to have a dialogue and not a diatribe. Because if you want something to change, it's not going to the TV.
All right,
LA,
so
New York, right?
Yeah, wrap him up. I feel like it's showtime at the Apollo. Like, I'm about to start dancing. I should have
Bring the
started
hook out.
dancing.
exactly. I mean, you gotta give it to the SNL band for keeping on playing. Like,
Okay, where do we start with that? There's so many things wrong.
So many things.
So many things problematic.
So what do you guys think about him wearing the MAGA hat on SNL doing their performance?
My first problem with that is he keeps going back and forth with the whole MAGA hat thing. He just apologized for it 2 weeks ago, saying, everybody, I'm sorry, I won't wear the MAGA hat again. I'm sorry about the slavery comment. Then he comes back and he puts it on his IG and I got a new one I've designed for me, and he wears it again. That's the same thing Kanye does every week. He apologizes for making a stupid remark about slavery, then he comes back and make another remark about, the 13th Amendment and slavery. It's like, it's so nonsensical. It's kind of, I don't know. It's beyond bizarre at this point. It's like absurd.
I just feel like Kanye, because I love Kanye so
Right?
much. I just feel he's just so disconnected. Make
Do
America.
you think he's in the sunken place?
Yes, because Make America Great Again what we know what this stands for, who is behind to Make America Great Again, we know that right now the country is such in a divide, and we're trying to get back to this place of like unity and love, and you know, all this self-hate is like coming with, you know, a person who we have in office who is a bigot, who has said that, you know, it's okay to grab a woman by the you know,
the meow.
By the meow. You know, and these things shouldn't be taken lightly. You know, these are things that we need as a people to address and bring to the attention that you just can't get away with like doing things like this. And Kanye, just because he's Kanye, can't get away with just supporting somebody, because you have a lot of people that are like, well, it's Kanye, it gets a pass. Like, no, hold him accountable. Don't buy anything that he promotes. No Yandi, no other
whenever that comes out.
No Yeezy season, nothing. Like, no. I just think that because he is with the Kardashians, there are certain people who, because they love Kim so much, gravitate to anything that she supports. She supports her man, obviously. So you still have some people like, maybe Kanye is okay. But no, we the black community would like to trade him for somebody else.
And can I say this? Okay, to our friends on the other side, whether you're left or right, and Kanye is obviously referring to the Trump voters, okay? And actually, I don't have a problem if you're a Republican. I don't have a problem if you're Democrat. Personally, I don't choose a particular party. But here's the false narrative that comes with the MAGA hat. Make America great again. Then you have to dissect and go, okay, what particular time period are you talking about?
Like, what's great?
Yeah.
What was great about it before?
America has had flashes of greatness. Okay, yeah, you know, we win World War II and we defeat Hitler in the 40s, but then you go back to America, you still had Jim Crow and black people getting hung. There's not a time in America where you can say it was completely good, completely great. It has these flashes of brilliance, but it's a loaded statement, and he knows what he's doing by wearing that hat.
Right. All right. Well, you guys, I mean, the community and the Twitter community was dragging him and felt exactly the same way. So we're going to pull up the tweet that Kanye posted after all this happened, after he got dragged on Saturday night and Sunday morning and Sunday afternoon. So he posted a picture of him on his private jet in a MAGA hat, right? With the tweet that says, "This represents good and America becoming whole again. We will no longer outsource to other countries. We build factories here in America and create jobs. We will provide jobs for all those who are free from prisons as we abolish the 13th Amendment. Message sent with love." Okay, what?
Says the man who thought he was European for I don't know how long. Okay,
here's the thing. Okay, for those of you out there watching, the 13th Amendment was the amendment that abolished slavery and involuntary servitude. Now he's talking about, you know, taking that away, repealing that. And then he came back with another tweet because he got dragged, of course, for that said, "The 13th Amendment is slavery in disguise, meaning it never ended. We are the solution that heals." Now, here's my whole thing. Kanye is definitely in the sunken place, okay? And it's been stated, and we know that he is bipolar. Clearly, he's off his medication. And in fact, today, he gave an interview with Harvey Levin on TMZ, in which case he said, you know, I'm clear of mind, I'm off my meds. You know, this always happens when he gets off his meds. So I feel there's a part of me that feels not necessarily bad for him, but I just feel his handlers and his wife, like, Cam, you need to come get your man.
I just feel, I feel as though Kanye, though, it's hard. I feel like being a black man in America is hard. And I don't know what being a black man in America, when you're so close to rich white men with money, and you're in a place or a community that you, growing up, would have never thought you could be around. You know? So who knows what that is doing. I feel like sometimes with these people, they get so close to things that they've never obtained before that they act so different, and they're not able to be self-aware of who they are. You know?
Yeah, he ain't seeing the clouds.
He has no perspective of himself. And to take it a step further, this is my biggest problem. Like Kanye and his lack of common sense. We accept that you're bipolar. He's going to apologize for everything he said today, next week anyway.
Right, exactly.
But here's the problem. He's one of those guys who will hear a talking point. Oh, somebody told me Republicans were the one that freed the slaves. So yeah, that's how we should be Republican. And then he'll go, and as far as the 13th Amendment, people, here's the nuance on the 13th Amendment. Yes, it ended slavery, but there's a corollary at the 13th Amendment that says, except for those people who've committed crimes and in jail. So it legalizes this kind of like legal slavery or working while you're in jail, which is a form of slavery. And those of you, go see Ava DuVernay's documentary on the 13th Amendment.
Oh, speaking of Ava DuVernay, she did have a tweet about this whole thing. So if we could pull that up, sis, she always got something to say, something good to say. She said, "I am consciously choosing to tweet about plant-based burgers and not the current statements about the 13th Amendment from a certain MAGA follower. Respectfully, don't at me. I can't do nothing for him." I think a lot of the community kind of feels that way. It's just like, there's nothing we can do. He's just doing his thing. And I feel like a lot of white people are actually starting to call him out. Like we saw today, Chris Evans called him out.
I like that. Captain America.
Ray called him out. Yeah, right? I mean, people are starting to call him out.
And I heard one thing that, I listen to Steve Harvey a lot. And one thing that he was saying that when it comes to social changes, the things that we've seen that have changed when it comes to slavery, when it comes to the laws that have been passed, yes, black people have fought for them, but it took white people to also say, you know what, this is not okay.
Exactly.
And we need to have some change. And I think that that's good, that it's just showing that it's not just black people that have a problem with what's being said, it's all people. And that's what the issue is about Make America Great Again. It's trying to stop all this divide that this one president has caused.
Right. Exactly.
And I don't know how much longer you want to keep talking about the Kanye thing, but I definitely want to put a little cherry on top. Okay. We've talked about how he's bipolar. We're sympathetic to people who have mental illness. He doesn't choose. He chooses not to treat. He says, I just talk to people. We're sympathetic to people, who I don't know, who have intense feelings and have suffered things. I know he lost his mom, and he's bitter about the record business and all these other things, and so I'm empathetic toward him. But there's a certain amount of responsibility that he bears, regardless of whether you have mental illness or not. A, like we said, you have to treat your illness, but B, it doesn't give you the excuse to go off and spouting out facts just because it sounds good. And he knows that number 3, that all that is, it just gets some short-term attention. I think Kanye's like a child at this point. He doesn't even care whether he says is right or wrong, as long as he gets the attention, and then he can go back and apologize for it later. And that's more attention. Oh, by the way, buy my Yeezys and my album.
And they do.
Yeah, and they do. One more person that I want to hit that had something to say was actually Swiss Beats, who we know works with him a lot. Yeah, and we love him. Super conscious person. So he wrote on his Instagram, he said, "Fuck the MAGA hat, Kanye West. We must face our poison in order to poise on. Enough is enough. Blessings, no cap." And then he had a whole video, which I think we have. Let's see if we can run that real quick.
And I hear you talking about you being bullied for the hat. It feel kind of funny because we were just talking about the hat less than 48 hours ago. Tiana Taylor was in the studio, Fred was in the studio, a bunch of people was in the studio, and I was just addressing how uncomfortable the culture feel with you representing somebody that's blatantly hurting our people. You understand? So, ain't nobody bullying you. We love you. We love you. We're not bullying you, but you gotta stop that shit, man. That shit ain't right. And now you know how I feel. I feel just like this still.
All right, that's good.
I love him.
Right? He wrote a beat to it.
Kanye is taking the loss for the culture.
Yes. All right, moving on. We got some Twitter beef. I'm gonna head this over to Al. What you got?
We got tons of beef this week. We got Kevin Hart. We got Cat Williams. Basically, Cat Williams beefing with everybody. Okay, you got
Cat versus everybody.
Yeah, okay,
that culture.
I'm gonna set the stage a little bit, okay? Because Cat Williams has had this saying about Kevin Hart, since years ago. To me, it's all been kind of hate, but it's been more like going at the guy who's more commercial, who does more movies, who makes more money. You're the sellout. You're not really down for black people. blah blah blah. But it came up again when we go back to there was this interview that Kat did on the Wanda and Frank show, and basically he goes in on Tiffany Haddish. And ladies, tell me if you think I know you're going to get into this more, but the essence of that saying is that Tiffany, that she's not a proven comedian as far as like been on the road. You can't name me one funny Tiffany Haddish joke, and she doesn't deserve to be called, you know, the queen of the head, which of comedy, which I don't think anybody said in the first place. But that's when Kevin Hart tags himself in, because Tiffany's this girl. They got this movie coming out, so and he's producing it, and he feels largely responsible for his career and sticking up for his girl because we know they were friends before.
It's actually #1 at the box office.
Hey,
Night School?
Yeah.
Okay. There you go. So we got Big Brother Kevin like jumping in, and he comes in just with the logic and taking the high road, which I like that Kevin usually does. He's like, look, you know, in the Breakfast Club interview, you know, look, I've established a platform, a production company where I can hire these young black comedians. I can get them work. They're doing positive things.
Lil
right.
Yeah. And then what? Of course, you know, all these, and then Kev's point is basically, what are you doing? Can you make it better? But this is what Kat comes back and says. Well, those guys are too ugly, Lil Rel and Hannibal Buress, and nobody wants to screw those guys. And he just, you know, Kat just always goes like to the lowest of the low. So I don't know if you want to start with any of these videos.
Yeah, let's do the Cat Williams video, because he went on Instagram Live and just had a little rant. So we're just gonna play a minute of it.
See, what people don't know is that whole time what I was doing is I was doing 50 shows, AEG, then switching over to Live Nation and doing 50 shows, then doing another one, and sometimes I would keep the same material and just name the tour different, just so I could keep a fresh set on these motherfucking repeating jokes-ass comics to keep them honest, right? And then I just started cranking them out, right? Because for the last few years, like, Kevin been pretending like he been world touring. That nigga ain't been world touring. That nigga been everywhere but fucking here. That nigga is all through Saskatchewan. That nigga got 30 shows in Saskatchewan, 19 shows in Russia. He then going over to Brazil for one show. Then he goes to Greece and anywhere but coming through these motherfucking hoods. You dig?
That's enough.
That's good.
So yeah,
He's just a hater.
Cat's just going the same old route. You can tour the world. You can tour Europe. Basically, mainstream white people, but you can't tour in the hood. We know Kevin Hart can still pack theaters in the hood. He's trying to make his money. He's an international brand right now.
I mean, why would you want to limit yourself to just the hood? Like, get that money, get that change. You work hard.
I think Kat is a talented comedian.
Right.
Of course. He has done some numbers. However, Kat wants to get high. So you can't, number one, you don't argue. Rule number one, don't be arguing no drug addict. You're never going to win. And, you know, he could have had plateaued to where Kevin Hart is, but like I said, he want to have, like he said on the show, 19 convictions, 19 felonies, 0 convictions, I'm sorry. But doing all that hurt his brand a little bit. And Kevin, if you want to be in this mainstream world with the Tiffany Haddishes and the Kevin Harts, you have to be marketable. You have to.
No, I definitely agree with you. I think this is what you're getting at, is that basically Kevin said that, Kat, you had your chance. You were going to be the guy, and you blew it.
Oh, let's play the Kevin Hart video, because he posted on Instagram. He had a retort.
Not only put my baby sister up, but make you guys realize why she deserves to be up. #1 movie in Girls Trip. She's starring in a movie called Night School with me. She's on a TV show with Tracy Morgan called The Last OG. She's got a movie coming out that Tyler Perry did with her, Whoopi Goldberg, Tika Sumpter, and many more. She's got another movie coming out with Melissa McCarthy. The girl is working her ass off, and in return received the Emmy on SNL for working her ass off. Filmed a special on Showtime, just got a deal with Netflix to go and tape another special. What I see a woman that's well deserving of the position that she's in, and more importantly, I see a girl that's now positioned to open up doors for this younger generation of female comedians that are coming after her. Ultimately, one person's success has nothing to do with yours. One person's grind, I choose to not only...
All right. And then the Instagram keeps playing.
Yeah.
But it's
I feel bad for Tiffany, though.
Yeah.
Because she has all these accolades and doing all this work, and she's been shot down by like 2 of comedians legends, Cat Williams, even Tracy Morgan had shot her down. And they're on on the same show together, you know?
Yeah.
Just being a black woman is just hard in this business.
We can admit jealousy, right? We can call jealousy what it is. But let me just throw in like the little 1 ounce of truth, which I see coming consistently against a lot of comics, not just men comics, and their critique of Tiffany. They say she's not funny, like not funny in conventional stand-up.
She's the real auntie or the real cousin. That's what he was saying in his V103
like,
interview. Like, don't you got
has
a real
auntie? Everybody's a real cousin.
The real co-worker.
Basically,
and that's what
like
Tiffany
she's
is.
the girl you're gonna put it on, who's gonna do a movie role, and do the ratchet stuff.
Right.
But she doesn't have any kind of stand-up humor or any kind of bit that she can name that separates her from other comedians. So that's a critique.
She just got a Netflix deal to do that.
She did.
I think she would have more to see.
Exactly.
And I feel like it's so early in her career to even judge that. It's just God has blessed her with all these projects, and she's just
so what's she supposed to do? Say no?
Like, no, I haven't done enough special, so come back to
because
me.
Cat Williams,
because she ain't ready. She ain't ready. Go on, Tiffany.
A mess. Speaking of Tiffany, let's go on to the clapback segment because she had a good clapback.
She did. So she did tweet like, OMG, Cat Williams talked about me.
Yeah.
Because, at the end of the day, Cat Williams is a legend, and she took the high road just saying that she just wants to give nothing but love. And honestly, that's all you can do. Just keep it graceful. Don't be getting too ratchet. Don't be throwing no shoes.
Cardi.
But I but can I say this? So she was throwing love, but I like the way she sent it the kind of what do you call it when somebody gives you like a backhanded compliment?
A backhanded compliment.
Backhanded compliment. She's like, just like you need some love in your life right now.
All the love you can give, boo.
Yeah. We have the tweet, so let's pull that up. So she said, it's official, I made it. Cat Williams talked about me and didn't have his facts right. Hashtag I win. Hashtag she ready. Yes, she is, girl. I look forward to seeing you on Monday, Cat, when we pick up our Emmys. I just want to shower you with real love because you need it. And I love you. And you know what? She won an Emmy.
She did, and they have a picture of him bowing down to her with her Emmy in hand. So, go on, Tiffany.
Do we have to state the obvious at the end of the day when somebody's like down and somebody else that hard? It's because that they don't feel good about their own career, obviously.
Right.
But my point, at least at this stage, let's at least be funny, Cat. Make it a funny joke. Right now it's just,
now it's just, we're going through like low blows. Like, she is only on top because she'll sleep with a white, like, right?
Yeah.
Whoa, pump the brakes.
Yeah, you said that.
That escalated real quick.
It's not even a joke. I wanted the same type of banter like her and Wanda, like him and Wanda. Yeah. He just went for the jugular.
He went.
Okay.
So you know what? Some of the people on Twitter, on Black Twitter, they had some things to say about this. So Patrice Dunn, sorry. She said, we as people need to do better. I love Cat Williams and Tiffany Haddish. We don't need to bash on one to make another better. Yeah, exactly. Both are beautiful, black, and hilarious. Both shine bright, and thank you for making me laugh. Exactly.
Well said. I couldn't have said it any better.
There's no need to tear each other down.
And we as a people have worked so hard to even get on TV.
Exactly.
Just to see somebody else doing their thing should just automatically be
a clap.
Yeah, a clap.
And support, nothing but support.
And I'm going to say this too about Cat. I'm sorry. As far as keeping the same energy, Mr. Keep It Real, keep the same energy. Why would you be bowing down and apologizing to Tiffany Haddish when you wouldn't do the same thing to Kevin Hart? Because your critique is the same thing. I think you did it purely out of publicity reasons. Plus, it looks bad to be like that negative and hostile toward a woman
and like
who's
I
up
said,
and coming.
Drug addicts don't be remembered. They be having a lot
too much
of amnesia. Yeah. Like, I said that.
Did I say that?
I said that.
Okay. There's a lot of that this week. I don't think I did that. No, I do not recall. All right. Speaking of Twitter being woke this week, woke Twitter. Yes, amen to that. So we're going to highlight, it was National Voter Registration Day a couple of days ago, and some of our favorite celebs had to tweet about it. Obviously, in the climate that we're in right now, it is so important that people
definitely have their voice heard.
Exactly, have their voice heard and register to vote. So on that day, Shonda Rhimes, who we love,
Shonda Land,
yes, she said, "Do not feel helpless or hopeless. Vote. Pay attention to who makes your laws and appoints your judges." Snaps to that.
Yes.
Pay attention to who represents you. Vote. Hashtag Kavanaugh hearing. Yeah.
I feel like people really underestimate how much their vote matters.
Yeah.
It really matters. And I could just say, like, Obama, like, do you not see what we did?
Yeah.
Like, not just black people, like, all people who wanted Obama to win.
Yep.
We did that. Like, if you looked at even the voter turnout this year compared, like, I think this voter turnout for black people, we had the same voter turnout as when John Kerry ran against George Bush.
Yeah, and look what happened.
I was in, like, 4th grade reading that class last in school. I'm like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
You know? So we really have to go out and not even support just, people think just the presidential election is important.
No.
Your local,
Midterms,
collect, it matters. These props matter for like what you're doing in your city, what you're doing in your community. Everything matters.
Politics is local.
Vote for your dog catcher, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, vote for all that. Because that's what's going to affect your everyday life. The president doesn't have that much effect.
No.
It's your local people that do. And your Congress people, your congressmen,
Definitely.
your senators, and that even goes for state and local as well. There was a really good tweet from somebody, David Crowley. Let's pull up that one. It said, on September 25th, 1957, after being recruited and guided by the NAACP legend, Daisy Bates, the Little Rock Nine were escorted into Central High School by federal troops. Think about their courage as you prepare for National Voter Registration Day and consider your role in making history.
Yeah, we as a people have to do better because our ancestors did not fight for us to just stand back and be idle.
Yeah.
Like, they put their lives on the line. I don't think we as a generation have fought for something to where we're like, I'm gonna just put my life, I might not even make it out of this, but I at least want something to happen to where if I do pass, my grandchildren, my great-grandchildren will be able to experience something that I never had.
And can I say this too? Part of the problem is this false narrative that our community is adopting, that both are the same.
Right.
Republican,
That is not the
Democrat.
truth.
That is not the case. This would be a much better, different country right now, at least domestic policy-wise, if Hillary was in versus the way Trump is versus Obama.
Right.
They are not exactly the same. I would say a lot of them are guilty of the same foreign policy. But as far as like education, healthcare, the things that matter, social programs,
things.
the domestic things, those things, they're all totally different. So that's some kind of like false equivalency that they're all the same. That your vote matters, and you could say, I don't like the two-party system because I don't like the two-party system. I wish they were further apart, but guess what? They're not exactly the same.
I mean, I understand. I feel like we as a people have been through so much injustice and have felt as though our system doesn't protect us. So I can see how some people may feel as though they have nothing to say in this fight.
Right.
But don't let society and don't let the past make you feel as though you don't matter.
Exactly.
Everybody matters.
Everybody matters.
Everything matters that you do. So please go out and vote.
Yes. In fact, you know, Alicia Keys had something kind of the same to say. So she tweeted, come join the party. Hey, because it is a party. Like, I get really excited when I go vote.
Me too. I get that sticker.
I do
I be trying to hold on to that sticker for dear life. I'm like,
I have my outfit planned the night before. Like, I'm serious. I get so excited. Okay, so getting back to her tweet, she said, we're here to scream and not be quiet. We run the world. You heard? Yes. And then she also had a video, which I think we have to play. We shall see. But yeah, I mean, even, there we go.
Does she have on makeup? Because she was doing the no makeup thing.
She's flawless. She doesn't need makeup.
No.
Let's see. What does she have to say?
2 weeks left for everybody to get registered. And let me tell you, I am definitely registered. Trust me. I go up into that neighborhood school in my neighborhood, and I get that big piece of paper they give you. It's the biggest thing I ever seen. And then you tuck into this little booth, and I'm in there voting. I'm voting for a small election, a medium election, a big election. Trust me, I'm not playing around because this is the biggest party that we can show up for. And I'm not trying to be silent and quiet. We're not silent and quiet. We run the world. You heard? We run the world.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to help you out because there's nothing worse than showing up.
Oh, then you know.
Well said.
Twitter cut it off. But you get the gist.
Yeah.
Well said, and I completely agree. It's so important to vote.
I want to call like the people like the little pumps and the little Uzis and have them promote voting.
Yes.
Because it's always people, we always look at Alicia Keys for wisdom, for being woke, but we need to look at these people who we may not even think are woke to promote voting. Like Cardi B just did it at the Global Citizen event this past weekend. We need more people who you can still be fun, you can still turn up, and you can still vote.
Exactly.
And I like Cardi because she does seem to at least go a little bit out of her way to educate herself.
Yeah, she's
like a history buff.
She
and
does.
Like she likes history of the president.
She spoke some wisdom on, taxes.
She did.
For Instagram.
But here's my problem with the little punks and the littles of the world. We can have them. I agree. We got there's that millennial generation. A lot of them
so influenced
that are so influenced. They're the generation of the internet. Those millennials, and there are some who have a nice grasp of history and what's going on politically and socially. But what I hate to happen is a situation like we had with Diddy way back when he did this whole vote or die campaign.
Oh yeah.
When Kerry was running, and basically he did this whole campaign, and they asked him did he vote, and he said no, and he couldn't tell you one thing that was on the ballot. So what we need to do is get these lils, the little punks of the world, educated first, and not just throw them up in front of a camera.
Right.
We need to make sure they know what they're talking about.
Yes.
I mean, it's your civic duty as an American. I don't think people will realize how important it is until that right is taken away.
Girl, I was in the shower crying the day of this last election. This was my first election that I ever had to vote for. And this is what I had to deal with, girl.
That's gonna affect you for the rest of your life.
I know. I'm gonna tell my grandkids, let me tell you about the time, baby, grandmama was crying in the shower the day after the election.
I've been ready. My voting finger has been ready since November 8th, 2016.
Yeah.
I cannot wait. All right. So now we're going to go on to the viral moment of the week, which I love this one. This one got shared a lot. People were sending it to me. I was sending it to people. All right, this is Brett Kavanaugh, who we all know is
under fire
this week, and he's up for he has a Supreme Court nomination, but there is definitely some things going on with that. So somebody smart on Twitter, or I think it was Instagram, and then it made its way to Twitter, did a little mashup of Brett Kavanaugh meets Samuel L. Jackson's character from Pulp Fiction. This is awesome. You got to see this. All right, let's roll it.
Now let me take a wild guess here. You're Brett, right?
Correct.
I thought so.
I got into Yale Law School.
Check out the big brain on Brett.
It's the #1 law school in the country.
You're a smart motherfucker, that's right.
I had no connections there. I got there by busting my tail.
Looks like me and Vincent caught you boys at breakfast. Sorry about that. Did you have it?
Beer. I still like beer.
You mind if I have some of your tasty beverage to wash this down?
Sometimes I had too many beers, but I did not drink beer to the point of blacking out. And I never sexually assaulted anyone.
You did! Yes, you did!
He is warm, friendly, unassuming. He's the nicest person.
I don't remember asking you a goddamn thing. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
I love the internet.
Internet wins again.
The internet wins again. Oh my goodness. Who was that clever?
I need to start making me some memes and making some money.
That got spread everywhere. So actually, Samuel L. Jackson came back because somebody sent it to him on Twitter. So he came back and he wrote, funny as hell, but there's nothing funny about this lion frat boy ass.
Dang.
Yeah. You know when you got Samuel saying
Sam does bully punch. He says exactly like it is.
Exactly. He tells it like it is. That is for sure. All right. We're going to wrap up this episode of Black Twitter here on BHL. Where can the good people find y'all? Raylan, you go first.
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Raylan Taryn.
So I gotta follow her. I already followed you. I gotta follow Ray.
I'm gonna follow you. Let me know where to find me.
Everybody, your boy LG. You can find me on Twitter at Jamaica House Doc.
And I'm Alina Vision. You can follow me on all social media at Alina Vision. Until next time, peace.
From executives Keven Undergaro, Dario Kristen, Tiana Hobson, and the entire BHL staff, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us. info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I am the official voice of Black Hollywood Live, Scipio. Instagram me at KingXOBay. Thanks for tuning in.
The views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.